All right, team, let's get into it. Today, we are cracking open what is, no joke, the ultimate strategy guide for the game of life. Dale Carnegie's legendary book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Forget cheat codes. We are talking about the core game mechanics for leveling up your social stats for good. So do you ever feel like you're just stuck on a really difficult social quest? You see other players just breezing through conversations, forming guilds, and completing co-op missions with, zero effort, while you're just kind of grinding away on the tutorial level.
It feels like your dialogue options are totally nerfed, you're constantly losing reputation points, and NPCs just get aggroed. They get hostile for what feels like no reason at all. Well, I want you to think of Carnegie's book as the latest patch notes, the official update that completely rebalances the entire social game.
So how do we actually install this patch? Well, we're going to unlock the 5 core skills from the book. I'm telling you, master these, and you are going to see your social skill tree light up like you have never seen before. Okay, it's time to unlock our first skill. And this is the single most important rule to start with. Do not criticize, condemn, or complain. In game terms, you have got to disable player versus player mode. Attacking other players, even if it's just with words, it just flags you for combat and pretty much guarantees a hostile response. Carnegie points out the core mechanic here, and it's brilliant. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. See, criticism is a debuff. It just makes people defensive and resentful. And guess what? It grants you 0 XP. Think about it. Even notorious figures like Two Gun Crowley and Al Capone, they didn't see themselves as villains. In their own story, they were the main character, the hero. So if you criticize someone, you're not fighting a boss, you're attacking someone's hero. And look, disabling PvP mode has some huge benefits. You avoid making NPCs hostile, you conserve your emotional mana for way more important quests, and you open the door for awesome co-op missions. Even Abraham Lincoln learned this the hard way. He used to publicly criticize his opponents, until one of them challenged him to an actual sword duel, to the death. Yeah. After that, he put the sword and the critical pen away for good. So, if you're not attacking other players, what are you supposed to be doing? Well, you should be farming. Specifically, you need to be farming appreciation points, or AP. And the way you do this is by giving honest and sincere appreciation. You're basically tapping into the game's core engine, every single player's deep-seated desire to feel important. Now, this is super important. This isn't just some minor want. The philosopher William James called it a craving. When you give someone genuine appreciation, you're satisfying that fundamental craving. It's like giving them a powerful buff that makes them see you as a high-value party member. But you gotta be careful. There's a cheap counterfeit to appreciation, and it's called flattery. Flattery is like that low-level vendor gear. It's insincere, it's selfish, and honestly, everyone can spot it from a mile away. True appreciation, on the other hand, that's legendary gear. It's sincere, it comes from the heart, and it holds immense power. All right, let's move to our third skill unlock, which really builds on the last one. This is all about how to influence others. And the secret is to arouse in the other person an eager want. In other words, you have to align your quest objectives with theirs. This quote says it all, right? You don't bait a hook with strawberries and cream just because you like them. You bait it with what the fish wants. And it's exactly the same with people. They are not on your quest. They are the heroes of their own game, focused entirely on their own objectives. The only way to get them to join your party is to show them how your mission helps them complete theirs. So here's the simple breakdown. Stop talking about what you want. Instead, put your energy into figuring out the other player's main objective. Then frame your request as a way for them to get what they want. The book gives this great example of a father whose son just refused to go to kindergarten. Instead of forcing him, the parent sat down and listed all the fun side quests he could do there, like finger painting and making new friends. All of a sudden, kindergarten wasn't a chore. It was his next great adventure. Okay, on to skill number 4. Now, this is how you max out your reputation score and turn random NPCs into loyal followers. The principle is so simple. Become genuinely interested in other people. Think of it as accepting every single side quest you come across. Carnegie tells this great story about his dog, Tippy, who just gave pure, unadulterated love and interest, no strings attached. And this perfectly illustrates what Carnegie calls the Tippy doctrine. By being genuinely interested in others, you can build powerful alliances way faster than by just trying to get other people interested in you. So, what's the #1 way to show that you're interested? It's not about being a great talker, it's about being a great listener. Encourage people to talk about their own adventures, their own character builds, their own achievements. It is the ultimate reputation booster, trust me. And now for our final core skill. And honestly, it's the easiest one to equip. It's like a passive buff you can turn on instantly to boost your charisma stat by at least 5 points. The technique? Just smile. That's it. A smile is a universal, lag-free signal. It doesn't need any translation, and it instantly tells another player, hey, I'm friendly. Carnegie tells this story about a doctor's waiting room full of really glum, unhappy people. Then a woman came in with her baby. The baby just smiled at this grumpy man, and he smiled back, and soon enough, the entire room was chatting. A simple smile changed the whole atmosphere of the lobby. All right, you've mastered the 5 main skills. You've got the basics down. So now it's time to unlock a secret level. This is an advanced technique, strictly for high-level players. We're calling this one the Inception hack. Instead of trying to force your idea onto someone, you plant the seeds of it so subtly that they actually believe they came up with it themselves. And when it becomes their great idea, guess what? They'll become its biggest champion. Now, the key here is to detach your ego from the outcome. There was this guy, Colonel House, an advisor to President Woodrow Wilson, who was an absolute master of this. He would suggest policies casually, just drop hints, and then weeks later, Wilson would bring them up as his own ideas. House never corrected him. He didn't care about the credit. He just wanted the result. Theory is great and all, but it is time to grind some actual XP. So here are 3 practical quests from the book that you can start tonight to put all these principles into action. First up, the weekly self-review. Set aside some time to analyze your social gameplay. Where did you fail a dialogue check? What could you improve? Second, the smile minigame. Act as if you're happy and you will tend to become happy. So force the smile, the feeling will actually follow. And third, the appreciation log. Keep track of every single time you give genuine appreciation. This reinforces the habit and lets you see your progress in real time. You made it through the walkthrough. So to help you remember all these strategies, it's time to claim your loot. I've put together a free 1-page PDF. It's a complete strategy guide summarizing all 5 of these skills and that secret cheat code. The download link is right there for you in the description below. And finally, if you found this walkthrough helpful, do us a favor and help us boost the guild stats. Like this explainer, share it with your party members, and drop a comment below with your own favorite gaming metaphor for social skills. Thanks for watching and happy questing.